Well, it's a great weekend. It's a great weekend. And still, we continue to give you back-to-back updates concerning football and also tactical analysis. This is Mr. Marfo Sports, and here, this is what we do. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you put us on post notifications so when we drop a content, you'll be the first person to view. As I always say, when you're doing something, you need a push. And to me, what will really push me to do whatever I'm doing and give you back-to-back content is for you to subscribe. So don't forget, when you come here, you subscribe to this channel, then you put us on post notification. There are reports suggesting PSG is having an agreement in principle concerning personal terms with Ferran Torres. And someone might ask, why will Ferran Torres leave Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain? And let's not forget, currently as it stands, PSG is having the most attractive project in Europe. Why am I saying this? Maybe at first, Paris Saint-Germain had to do a lot in terms of player signing. They had to offer more than the other clubs in terms of player signing. But right now, Paris Saint-Germain has won the UCL back-to-back. So they do not need to, do a lot to be able to get players. They just have to present the project in front of the players, analyze what they want to do in the next 2-3 seasons to the player, and the player is willing to accept. If a player is supposed to leave his club to join PSG, the player wouldn't think twice, because already PSG has won the UCL back-to-back, and there is even a possibility that they can do it in a repeat form in the following season. So the player will be willing to join. And let's not forget, Luis Enrique is having a good relationship with Ferran Torres. Let's not forget, he worked under Luis Enrique at the Spanish national team. Those times, the La Rojas went for the 2018 World Cup and also the Nations League they played. Yes, Luis Enrique worked with Ferran Torres and he used him as a winger those times, I remember. And also, apart from on the pitch, off the pitch, there was another relationship between Luis Enrique and Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres was dating Luis Enrique's daughter, Sira Martinez. So you see the relationship between the manager and Ferran Torres. So when the darling boy cry, I don't know, and a person or the neighbor Paris Saint-Germain. Why would Luis Enrique need Ferran Torres? Because Ferran Torres might not be a starter at Paris Saint-Germain, but Ferran Torres is having something about him. When he's coming off from bench, he can come and change the game or change everything concerning the game. That's one thing about Ferran Torres. And in Barcelona, he has shown time in, time out. Sometimes Barca might need someone to come and change the game. He will come off the bench and come and do that. And Luis Enrique might need a player like that to come and do what is needed in the team. Let's not forget, Goncalo Ramos was the one doing that. And right now, AC Milan has paid 74 million euros to take Goncalo Ramos from Paris Saint-Germain. So it means Luis Enrique will need a super sub replacement, and he thinks Ferran Torres will be the ideal guy for that. So Ferran Torres is having an agreement in principle concerning personal terms with Paris Saint-Germain, and he's waiting after the World Cup to negotiate a deal with Barcelona, and at the end of the day, leave for Paris Saint-Germain. So the Barcelona people wanted Ferran Torres out of the club. It seems finally Ferran Torres is having a destination he's going to move to after years at Barcelona. And it seems the Hilal people are not giving up on Raphinha. They are not ready to give up on Raphinha. Raphinha wants to stay, per reports I read yesterday, but it's 50-50. He wants to join Hilal on a financial basis, but he wants to stay too because he trusts in Hansi Flick. But the Hilal people are not giving up because they know the situation of Raphinha, and they know if they continue to put pressure on Raphinha through monetary aspect, Raphinha might join them. So right now, the Hilal people is having that mindset of let's pressure Raphinha using the monetary aspect, using what we can offer more than Barcelona, and at the end of the day, he's going to join us. So the Hilal deal is on the table. They've no closed door on Raphinha. They are working behind closed doors, or they are working behind the scenes to be able to get Raphinha into the team of Al Hilal next season. So the door is no closed for Raphinha concerning Al Hilal. Yesterday, there was a major confirmation about Karim Adeyemi and Barcelona, and Barca has agreed a deal of 22 million plus 7 million add-ons for Karim Adeyemi, and it makes a lot of sense. I think people are saying, what kind of signing is this? Barca is broke and they have to go in for a lower signing. I know, you see, when it comes to signings of Barcelona, the fanatic side concerning Barcelona becomes too much sometimes. People who are non-Barcelona fans begin to draw meanings into Barcelona signings, subjecting their major signings into they being broke and not able to afford some kind of players. And I think sometimes it's very wrong to talk about stuffs like that, because Barca is, working very well and trying to get the necessary signings for their team. I just feel the whole Karim Adeyemi deal boils down to what Hansi Flick really wants. I came here to talk about what Hansi Flick wants to do next season. He wants to move the ball faster. He wants PC wingers, and he wants players who, if he's supposed to wear Lamine Yamal, in terms of quality, they might be close. They might not be like Lamine Yamal, but they might be close in terms of quality. That's what Hansi Flick wants next season. That's what he wants next season. Explosive wingers. So he went in for Anthony Gordon and also Karim Adeyemi and Lamine Yamal, and possibly if Raphinha is staying, he's going to get 4 wingers. So Barca is not going to suffer when they are supposed to do heavy rotation for certain games. And that's what he wants to do next season, because the main motive of Hansi Flick is he winning the Champions League. And it makes a lot of sense for Barca to sign a player for 22 million plus 7 million add-ons. It makes a lot of sense. A player who is going to be a backup for Lamine Yamal and a player who is going to offer versatility in terms of attack is a major steal for Barcelona to get Karim Adeyemi for 22 million plus 7 million add-ons. He might not be a top player right now. In 2021 to 2024, Karim Adeyemi was a top player. But currently, he might not be a top player. But Hansi Flick knew the main reason why he made Barca invest in this kind of signing. So everything boils down to what Hansi Flick wants to use Adeyemi for. So I just feel the fanatic aspect of the non-Barcelona fans is just for banter. But I think Barca did a smart deal from Borussia Dortmund. On a normal, Borussia Dortmund wanted 40 million. But agreeing on 22 plus 7 means how Deco has really worked very hard to be able to achieve this deal. Now, yesterday, the Spanish national team played a game against the Belgium national team. And as I would say, it wasn't the best of the Spanish national team. I know Luis de la Fuente was more concerned about the performance of Pedri in the World Cup. And me, as a true Pedri fan, I'm also concerned because Pedri is seeing a dip in form, fees, and it's alarming and disturbing. But I trust in Pedri that he's going to revive his form. I just feel Pedri in the last season was being overused. There's a bit of fatigue and others, and it's just showing up at this point. So Pedri is going to revive his form. But I just feel bringing Fabian Ruiz in wasn't the solution. Although Fabian Ruiz penalty came to score the goal, but Spain defend by keeping the ball. That's one thing people do not know. Spain do not have to chase the ball. They have to keep the ball as always. And in the first half, although Spain scored a goal in the first half, but Spain were struggling to keep the ball because the presence of Pedri was missing. What Pedri gives you is in terms of recycling of possession. That's one thing about Pedri. Fabian Ruiz is in that profile. He has been used in PSG in the advanced role most times, and you see him invading spaces and running into spaces to score goal and assist sometimes. So Fabian Ruiz might not give you recycling of possession what Pedri does in Barcelona. That's one major thing Hansi Flick came and he saw. Because at the Xavi and Andes, Xavi mostly used him as at the advanced role, and even at the Euros, Luis de la Fuente used him at the advanced role. But Hansi Flick came and saw this player is able to recycle possession, so I will use him as the base of build-up. And that's what really helped Hansi Flick and Pedri himself. And he has changed Pedri's position once and forever, and is now more of a number 8 who controls the game. So Luis de la Fuente realized that in the 54th minute, and he has to bring Pedri on to recycle possession to control the game. He came in, Spain had that control they wanted, and at the end of the day, they won. when Pedri came in, I think majority of the time Spain was holding the ball. They were controlling the game. They were recycling possession. They were trying to create something. That's something Pedri offers on the pitch. That wasn't his top performance though. But I just feel with a gradual process, Pedri will be back to where he set the pitch to. So it was not a perfect game, but I was happy a player like Lamine Yamal stepped up. He gave us a glimpse of what Lamine Yamal is supposed to do yesterday, and he was deciding the game himself. And it was interesting. After the game, Lamine Yamal won the man of the match at the end of the day, and it was interesting to see him win the man of the match. He performed very well against the Belgium national team, and he deserves the man of the match. Today is England. England is playing Norway, and I won't talk a lot about this game, but you just have to know the Norwegian national team do not have to play exceptionally good to be able to beat the English national team. That's one thing about the Norwegian national team. The Norwegian national team, they are having that mentality of a Viking. You see, Vikings naturally worship their leaders, and they've accepted the fact that players like Erling Haaland and Alexander Soloth might not be the ones who will drop deep and come and do more of defensive duties. Someone like Martin Odegaard can't do the defensive duties. So you see someone like Sander Berge, Patrick Berge, helping very hard and also trying very hard to, keep the Norwegian national team going. They complement their leaders, and that's the Viking mentality. This is one thing that's helped them from match day one up till the quarterfinals of the competition. So the Norwegian national team do not have to do a lot to be able to score England. That's one thing you people should know. They are very pragmatic against the English national team. I'm not expecting the Norwegian national team that will control possession like what they do against the Brazilian national team. The English national team might control the possession because they are having Elliot Anderson and also Declan Rice in midfield, and even Jude Bellingham. So they are going to control the possession. But the Norwegian national team will try use what they have best, control the transitions, giving it to Nusa, transitioning to Soloth, giving the long balls to Haaland because he's very pacey and will be able to bully defenders into the final third and score a goal. And let's not forget, this game is going to be more of individual brilliance. We are going to need a Jude Bellingham to step up. We are going to need Harry Kane to step up because this is a crucial stage of the competition, and we are playing against an impressive Norwegian national team who is very, very tough. Teams who have faced the Norwegian national team knows how it's very difficult to beat them. Look at what they did to the Brazilian national team, the La Seleção, after everyone tipped the Brazilian national team to qualify over Norway. They just needed two clinical chances from Erling Haaland, or two clear chances from Erling Haaland to be able to be clinical and score a goal. So the Norwegian national team shouldn't be underrated by the English national team, but they should go into the game with that mindset of we are supposed to be the Norwegian national team. That's one thing. But I just see this game to be a balanced game, and it can be possible the Norwegian national team can even eliminate the English national team. They just have to be very careful with the type of team they are going to play against, because they might cause a lot of troubles for them. But at the end of the day, I'm expecting the English national team to qualify to the next stage of the competition. Yes, I'm expecting them to qualify to the next stage of the competition. And the English national team is having a bad defense, very, very bad defense, very bad defense. They should be very careful, because players like Erling Haaland, they don't do anything on the pitch, but one chance they will just score. That's the likes of Maguire, Johnny Stones, Kwanzaa, Jet Spence, and others. They should be very careful with the team they are going to face. So it will be an interesting game tonight. Grab your popcorn, but make sure you like, subscribe, and put us on post notification so when we drop a content, be the first person to view about.